guys. So I'm gonna see who comes on and we'll see what we're gonna do from there. I'm gonna feel it out, I guess. I did want to share a couple things that have been coming in recently in terms of just things that we need to know about, things that we need to be aware of on a grander scheme of things. So I'll talk about that here in a second too. Hoping everybody's been doing well. All right, so hey Erica. Hello. All right, so this was something that keeps replaying, and I'm so grateful that I kind of not overheard, but like it was a conversation not at all pertaining to anything, and it sparked this, and so it needed to come forward. And you guys let me know. I have the little air conditioner unit running. If it's too loud, let me know. But, hi Allison. The thing that I keep hearing and keep needing to share is about perfectionism. And the question is, are you really a perfectionist? Is this really about perfectionism? Or is it just very easy and simple for you to see the flaws in everything? So again, is it perfectionism? Are you a perfectionist? Or is it just easy for you to see the flaws? Or is it difficult for you to see the good in things? And this came up in regards actually to my mother, in that she just cannot see the good in anything. Like even if something is good, she can find the bad in it. And my dad said to me, which I thought was interesting, he said, your mother is a perfectionist. And I'm like, I don't think that's it. I just think that she can zero in on any tiny little flaw and make it seem huge. And so this energy wants to talk, it wants to come out, and it says, so many of us, procrastinator extraordinaire, hi guys, so many of us, we have this idea that we're gonna wait until something is perfect. We're not going to take action, we're not going to say anything, we're not gonna make a move until we have it all figured out, we have it all aligned. And we can say, all right, we're kind of waiting for perfection when, number one, we know that perfectionism is not a thing. Perfect is not a thing. And so it is an excuse. It is, like Erica said, it is kind of a form of procrastination. It's also a way of holding on. It's a way of, not wanting to let go of whatever you have to let go in order to take that next step. Even if it's something so simple as within my mother's example, new furniture, right? So my gray catbird's out there and it's distracting me, but I love that it came out to visit. We just had a really big storm we drove in through. Dropped over 20 degrees in the storm, which was so needed because today my air conditioner in my car decided to stop working. That was fun, 96 degrees. So this whole perfectionism thing, I think we have to get out of this belief that we have things that we need to work on. I know, okay, of all things, hi Melanie, of all things, like I know that we have things to work on. I know that we have things that we need to heal. I know that there are things about ourselves that we want to improve, that we want to expand upon, that we want to learn through and grow through and expand through and ascend through. But I also realized at some point, like, we just are who we are. And we can't use that as an excuse, right? I can't go, well, I'm a Gemini, so that's why, oh, I'm an Enneagram 4, that's why. Oh, I'm a Manny Jenny, that's why. As somebody who's not a huge fan of labels, I actually love knowing where I fit into some of those things because I love learning about myself. I love diving deep and understanding myself. When a couple years ago I took the Myers-Briggs personality test and found out I was an INFJ, I cried because I was like, somebody sees me. This is me. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. But like at some point, and I mentioned this in my story yesterday, I was just sitting there going through cards and understanding like I was maybe making it a little bit more difficult than it needed to be, maybe taking a little bit more time. I could have probably streamlined it. I could have done it a little simpler. And I'm like, but that's not me. I love that I think about things. I love that I try things new ways. I love that, yeah, sometimes I do make things difficult. And I will admit, especially like, I don't want to say like flirting, but like there's definitely like an energy sometimes where I will purposely be a little difficult just to rile people up. But when can we stop thinking, and when will you stop thinking that this is something about you that is broken, that this is something that needs healed, that this is something that needs fixed, and just see yourself showing up as who you are, as this magnificent gift of being who you are? I kind of fell in love with myself yesterday because in my head, and I do this constantly, you guys, I don't know if all of us do it or, you know, what it is, but like I have conversations in my head, especially if I'm doing kind of mundane, medial tasks. I'm talking to myself in my brain, having conversations with people and, you know, playing through scenarios. It's wonderful. It's awful. And I got to a point where in this little conversation in my brain, I'm like, yeah, I am incredibly aware. I do notice everything. I do look at something and think about how it works or how it came about, or, you know, I really like that I'm putting in this effort. I'm gonna ruin a surprise. I'm terrible like this, guys. I am so terrible at surprises. That's Gemini energy. I went above and beyond on this deck and I ordered custom boxes and custom wrapping paper and all this stuff. So whereas I could have thrown these decks in boxes or in mailing, you know, bubble wrap, whatever, and just shipped them out, I was like hand wrapping. I literally, like, I was like, all right, I need this wrapping paper needs to be cut by 2 squares tall by 3 squares wide. And I'm like sitting here and I didn't want to take a picture and show you guys because I wanted it to be a surprise that when you open these cards, you're like, oh my gosh, like it has custom wrapping paper. Like, how insane is this? I can't, I get too excited about things. I have to share them. But like, I'm like, I love this special little touch. I love that I spent more money and completely destroyed any income that I was gonna make off of this deck on ordering custom boxes and shit. But you know, when we think about perfectionism, it really is like, is it that I need this to be perfect, or is it that I want it to be special? That's kind of where my deck thing came. It wasn't about perfectionism. It was just I wanted it to be like a lovely surprise. I wanted it to be special. I wanted it to be different. And then there's the, am I a perfectionist or am I just picking out every single flaw? And why? What is the benefit? One of you already said it, procrastination. If I'm waiting for something to be perfect, then I don't have to do this. I can wait to do this. I made this post yesterday and I shared, like, I want to be seen. I want people to see through me. I want them, and I'm going to shout out somebody, and I doubt that he'll watch this even if he does, but my friend Austin, we met doing a theater contract back in November. We became closer in our January contract. And he, like Allison, is a Pisces, and I didn't know this about Pisces because the only Pisces I know is my sister, and we don't talk, even though she's my next door neighbor. And I can say something in a group setting, and he will remember that I said that. He'll remember how I said it and all of that. And so there are so many times when we hang out or we talk where I'm like, I don't know if I've ever told you this. And he's like, yep, nope, I remember you saying that, Like, He sees, he listens. And I love that. It's also a little uncomfortable because I'm not used to it. And so when I posted this post yesterday and I was sharing about who I am, a couple people posted, well, this is who I am and I know I need to work on it. And like, at what point can we just all agree we don't have to fucking work on it? Show up as who you are. If you don't like being in the spotlight, if you like being in the background, why are you gonna change that? And I understand if it's a trauma thing and it needs to be processed and worked on, that's fine. But if this is who you are, why are you trying to shift that? Yes, we have things that we need to learn through and grow through. And truly what Spirit's saying to me in this moment is like, it's not that it has to change. The healing and the growing comes in recognizing the pattern, and instead of being triggered and throwing yourself into a pattern and into a loop and going like nuts, you see it and you recognize it and you take a deep breath and you don't get triggered. You don't have to change it. You don't have to change you. But we do, as a collective, we do need to start accepting that not everybody is like us. When I shared that I want to be seen, I wasn't saying I need to be in the spotlight. If you ever meet me in person, it might be a little bit different if we know each other well here, but like, I am the person sitting in the back in the corner with my hood on. If I don't know people, I am very quiet, I am very uncomfortable, and as soon as I get to know you, you'll be the person I talk to. But I am not a, like, holy crap, pay attention to me. I am a introvert by nature. I want quiet time, alone time. I get anxious in social situations. When I say that I want to be seen, it means don't just judge me based on my outward appearance. See through me, see into me, see who I am. And there are people who don't want that. There are people who absolutely, under zero conditions, want you to see inside of them. And there are people who aren't going to ask you about yourself because they don't want the question asked back. And so we have to get to that place where we don't see other people's way of moving, seeing their processes. We can't see that as an insult anymore. And that is something, guys, and maybe I'm still a little bit in dark night energy, but like the last, like Mercury retrograde was like a dark night of the soul for me. It was awful. And I felt triggered by people recognizing that my process was different than theirs. And it was something like, well, you do this. And immediately I took offense. And I'm like, well, why is that wrong? And it brought up that shadow energy, which if you guys know me, I love it. I love my grit and shit. But it was like, it felt like an attack. And we're seeing that. I've luckily like cleared this energy and am much more in this space of being like, yep, nope, this is who I am. This is how we process things. Love it or leave it. But I see that in a collective energy, we're very much like, well, if you don't agree with the way I feel or the way I do things or the way I move or the way I process, then that means you don't like me. Or I'm not worthy of your attention, or I'm not worthy of your love. And that is something that needs to be healed. But you worked through it and now you've embraced that part of yourself, yes. And you know what? And that is a great, Melanie. Thank you for bringing that up, because I think we also think that when we are talking with people who've been through dark nights of the souls, who have began their ascension process, their awakening process, the people that we follow, the people that we look to for support and advice and comfort and healing and coaching and all of that, we like to think, I think sometimes, that like they have their shit together. I think we also believe that once we've dealt with something, that it's like we get to do a checklist and we get to put a silver star on it and we get to move on. And that's not how it works. It's like you work on something and then the next time it comes up, you have to go a little bit deeper. And so these are all things that I've known before, that I've gone through before, but it's like I've been able to integrate deeper into it, they're showing me like carrying groceries, like if you're holding a grocery bag like this, now I'm able to hold it from underneath. And so I have more support instead of just like squeezing it against my body. There was something else that was there, but I think it jumped ship. I think we're easy to feel defensive when people point out that we do things differently. At least that's how I felt during Mercury retrograde. And it made me feel like I was unlovable. And nobody was doing that. Nobody was sitting there and going, you're unlovable, you suck, you're a waste of space. But my ego was taking it as like, why is the way I do it wrong? Well, nobody was saying it was wrong. And so there's that like, am I being a perfectionist? Is this, I want everybody to love me? Because here's the thing, I don't care if everybody loves me. I don't give one flying fuck, because I want people to trust their inner compasses. If they meet me and something doesn't resonate, trust it, leave. This was hilarious. When I made that post yesterday about I want to be seen, I had a couple people unfollow me and I literally was like, good. Because if you are only here in hopes that I will pull a card for you one day, or you want to see, you want to pick a card and decide whether it's accurate for you or not, and that's all you are invested in through my page. Me personally, I don't want to work with somebody that I don't resonate with. And I also, this came up yesterday too, is like, and I know that I'm different. I don't want to follow a page or a person or spend my energy or exchange my energy with someone who doesn't make me feel like I can expand and grow and fly. And if you don't care about somebody that you're exchanging energy with, whether it be via social media or in person or anything, if you don't care what their energy is and what they're bringing in and what you're exchanging, that worries me. It worries me, and I know there are people who do it. I don't consider myself a psychic, but there are people who go psychic to psychic to psychic to psychic until they find somebody that will tell them what they want to hear. If I'm gonna work with somebody, guys, cards are lovely. I was teaching my 9-year-old yesterday how to read tarot. I got her a really cute tarot deck called Kitten Chops. And I told her, she said, well, will you read cards? I said, I use cards as a tool. I read people. I read people's energy. Do you really want to work with somebody's going to look into your heart and soul? Somebody's going to touch your glitter and stardust. And so I think it's important that you know the people that you're exchanging energy with. I want to keep showing up. I want to keep showing you who I am. And I don't want to wait until I'm perfect. I don't want to look at myself and see every flaw. I almost posted a picture of myself yesterday. It literally was like, look, I have an elf ear. I've got a fuzzy face. I do not do anything to my eyebrows. I don't wear makeup. I don't do any of these things. Hi, Nilsa. And it's one of those things where it's like, look, I'm going to show up as I'm going to show up, because I'm tired of this idea, this belief that something's broken or something's wrong. I don't want to be somebody who sees the flaws, who can only see the bad and only wants to just only show up in the perfection. That has never been who I am. And especially if you guys know me, that I've been here for a while. It's inspirational for those of us who feel we need to be more knowledgeable before helping others. Kissy face is back. Sometimes I can't go on. Oh, see, I am quite the opposite. I have very, very, very sensitive everything, like food allergies and skin allergies and all of this stuff. And so what's funny is when I wear certain pairs of glasses, they give me acne here. And the other one, like a couple weeks ago, this one became a nodule cyst. And so what I do is I'm like, hi guys, welcome to my cyst. Let's point it out first, and now we can continue with the reading. Like, let me point out everything, okay? I don't do anything fancy. I show up as I am because I want you guys to realize that the next step of the journey, I am allergic to earth, goodness gracious. I want you to realize that the journey isn't, okay, I've done this, check mark, what's the next thing I need to work on, check mark. How can I get better? How can I get better? It's not about being better, it's about being more you. And if you, like Nilsa, you always are so presented and beautiful. And if that's you, if that's your essence and your glitter is to show up in this way, then be you and do it. For me, half the time I'm not wearing a bra, I'm in my pajamas, like, because that's me, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're all allowed to and are supposed to show up differently. I want to break this idea, break this mold. I love how the word mold also means like the fungi growing on shit that we've left alone too long, right? You know that I love plays on words. The other one that keeps coming up is holding space, okay? Like, oh, I can hold space. How am I holding my space and not letting it become, because I'm holding it where it is? You know that I do this stuff, you guys. But mold, right? Breaking the mold, breaking the fungi and the growth and all of that, and saying, you know what? Your job here, while it is, yes, to grow and to learn and ascend, you don't do that by seeking perfection, by becoming something other than who you are. Your perfection exists in stripping down the layers and being who you are when you're not trying. When you're not trying to impress anybody, you're not working towards an expectations. We are human beings, not human doings, not human tryings, not human impressings. Who you are when you be. That is who you are. And your journey here is not to wait until you are perfect to make a move. You are already perfect. It is to remove the limitations and conditions and thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that tell you that there is some sort of perfection that you must achieve before you can be you. And that's bullshit. You were born you. Earth is what has conditioned you. Not putting your purse on the passenger seat in your car because that's where your DM sits. That's what I take from holding space. Practically perfect in every way. Okay, that is, oh, I don't know what the sign is, but a couple weeks ago that kept popping up in my head. So once again, Nilsa and I have been very connected lately. Like, we keep passing signs back and forth to each other. She did a reading the other day that had this little like boxcar wagon thing, and I immediately saw the wagon from Professor Marvel and Wizard of Oz. And today, when I was driving here, it looked exactly like it, and I had to send her a picture. I'm like, look, we're just like passing things back and forth. So anyways, this was all very much just a reason to come to say to you guys, and I have cards here, and I am gonna pull cards here in a second, but this idea of being a perfectionist, I don't know if it really exists. I think perfectionism is procrastination. I think perfectionism is wanting things to be presented in a certain way, which I totally get. When you guys get your Earthside Divine decks from me, you'll see how and it wasn't about being perfect, it was just about being different. And that's something like I will never understand all through life. Like, I've never worn name brand clothing. That's never been me. I've actually been very happy, like when everybody was like, Abercrombie and American Eagle, I was like, no, I will be going to Walmart, thank you. You know, like, I didn't want to fit in. And I can't judge or criticize the people who do, because that's them. If they are doing them, then that's all that they need to be. And if I am doing me, that's all I need to be. That's all I need to do. And those can coexist together. somebody needs to hear today that if somebody doesn't love in the same way as you do, that doesn't mean they don't love. If somebody doesn't act the same way that you act, that doesn't mean that they're not acting the best they can. If somebody is not communicating as openly as you communicate, that doesn't mean they don't want to share. That doesn't mean they don't have anything to share. We all are showing up differently. And this is our opportunity not to add more layers, not to expand this way and this way, but to come back into that little light, into that little spark, into that glitter and stardust, and to return to your essence, which didn't need to be big and showy and glowing and perfect to come here. That's where I'm gonna stop. So here's what I have. I have my blue divine, blue soul guidance. This is higher selves messages. I couldn't think of what it was called. So if you would like a card, all I need you to do is just put your name in the comments. They're super simple messages. I'm not gonna read the energy for you, but I will pull it, and they have a couple little sentences on it, so it's enough energy. But just before you take your card, this has been a really important practice for me the last few days, is just putting my hand on my heart, or an item on my heart, you know, a deck of cards or something, and breathing in its energy and exhaling my energy, exchanging the breath of life. So as I do that for you, as I pull this card for you, take that moment to breathe in. I will exchange, actually, you know what? Spirit's like, exchange the breath of life with these people live. So Paulina, you are first. Paulina, I am exchanging the breath of life with you. And here's a message from your higher self. I'm gonna like pass out from deep breathing after I do all these. Paulina, balance. The natural center of balance is off in your life. Take time to focus on equal exchanges of love and kindness. It isn't selfish to expect others to give back what they receive. Oh fuck, I am gonna read for you. Paulina, we just talked about this, and this is so for everybody to hear. Right, this says, it isn't selfish to expect others to give back what they receive. That does not mean tit for tat. That does not mean I gave 3 hours of my energy, so I deserve 3 hours of energy back. That's not how this works. Everybody is different. Sometimes somebody sending 3 sentences in the middle of a very chaotic day took the same amount of love and energy as your 3-page essay of communication. So don't put it on a scale. Know that it doesn't have to be equal to be even. All right, so that was for Paulina. Erica, breath of life. From your higher self. Attraction. Everything you see now is a result of what you've thought before. There is a strong magnetic attraction taking place in your life. That just makes me like have giggly insides, like giggle bubbles. So be sure you are honoring your desires and new connections, for they will manifest your innermost thoughts and beliefs. Guys, this was originally what I was going to come and talk to you about today. Timelines are bumping. Sorry. Timelines are blipping. I was driving a road today that I drove with my love, and I literally like fell back into that car and into that place, and me being a moron that I am, I was biting gummy bears and leaving them wet on the edge and sticking them to his face. And I was in that moment because it all exists right now. So this is saying like your innermost thoughts and beliefs, it's attracting, it's creating. I posted about this yesterday with the Dreamtime Divine card. These visions, these things that we're seeing, they're blipping into our timeline, guys. They're touching. There is something happening. I am telling you, okay? Allison, breath of life. Ooh, some grounding. All right, Allison, from your higher self. Magnify. Do not move forward just yet. It is time to look deeper. There's something you aren't seeing clearly, that number 2 Sireness card yesterday. When you take the time and energy to do this, you will not only discover the best plan of action, but learn about yourself in the process. And Allison, what I'm hearing for you is when you are digging deep inside of yourself, you're not to be looking for the plan of action. You're not supposed to be in there with a flashlight going, plan of action, I've come to find you, where are you? Those who find success are usually too busy to be looking for it. Ooh, this came up earlier today. So I took astronomy, like AP astronomy when I was in high school. And one of the ways that we were taught to look at stars is if you looked right at them, that they would be very faint. But if you move your focus a little bit to the side, your peripheral will actually pick up the light better than if you look at it straight on. And this is that energy. Guys, if you are looking straight on at something and you have your blinders on, you're missing all of the peripheral, which is actually more clear than what you're looking at. So if you are sitting here going, no, I'm looking for a particular answer, that's the other thing. If you're looking for one answer, one conclusion, and that's not the answer or conclusion, you're missing it. Expand your view. Expand your horizon. Don't narrow yourself off. Neil, breath of life. That's a solar plexus, like solar plexus moving up into the heart space there. So Neil, from your higher self. Abundance. Release all thoughts and attitudes focused on lack. You are being blessed with abundance of all kind very soon. Be open to receive by knowing you are worthy of such a blessing. The biggest thing, and this goes for all of us, you guys, you're hearing this for a reason, is when we talk about wanting something, we're telling the universe we don't have it. Also, when we say that we don't care about something, like if we see a sign and we're like, I don't care, go away, we're telling the universe that we don't want its navigation. That's the biggest thing that I feel here is don't focus on what you want, focus on what you have, and feel the giggle bubbles of it being already here. All right, Nicole, breath of life. From your higher self, Nicole. 2 cards. Independence. It is important that you take some time to focus on yourself and your needs. You are strong and intelligent, so do not rely on others to provide what you already have inside. Give yourself the credit you deserve. Ooh, did you hear that thunder? I don't like storms. I was born in an F4 tornado. I blame it on that. Okay, just throwing this out there because this is another conversation that's popped up in the last few days, is I used to have nightmares kind of as a child. Same dream every single time, house catching fire. I used to be very thinking our house was going to catch on fire as a kid. That fear, I still don't like fire, but it's dissipated a lot. I used to be scared of volcanoes to the point where I never wanted to go to Hawaii or on any of that. Well, I've been to Pompeii, I've been to Hawaii. Turns out our river house is 4 miles from a dormant volcano. Okay, so I've cleared something around there to make it feel safe. I am still petrified of fish, like fight or flight response to fish. So I need to work on that. Anyways, do not rely on others to provide what you already have inside. Nicole, the message that is coming up here, and for anybody listening, is sometimes we hold on to people and situations because we believe that they hold something for us that we don't have inside of ourselves. They make us feel a way we haven't felt without them, or they give us something that we don't think we can provide ourselves. Also, independence does not mean loneliness. Synchronicity, Nicole, this is your 2nd card. In this moment, you are aligned to something greater, a greater plan, a greater influence, a greater destiny. Trust in the arrival of new information, events, and relationships as they are all destined to help you progress to your highest good. Helen, breath of life. And if anybody is watching this in the replay, I know it's live right now, but it will be a replay as an IGTV, realize that these messages are for all of us, okay? That we are all in this together. We're all in this together. Oh, it's Zac Efron, right? Okay, Helen, truth. Go inside and find the truth hidden within. You already know what to do. You already know what is true and real. Do not lose sight of reality by trusting another above yourself. Helen, please go and take a peek at Allison's post this morning. Awakening_spells. It was an 8 of Swords and a like inner well card. And when I looked at it, I couldn't read the description, I was in the car. But when I saw it, I immediately saw like I am confined inside of myself, because inside of myself is where the answer lies. That's where it is. That's where it exists. I'm confining myself. The reason I can't get out of this is because I have the answer. Oh God, you guys, I hate storms. Okay, we're all in this together, right? So, Helen, that one's for you. Janine, breath of life. Anxious, breath of life. Did you guys, sorry. Whew. All right, Janine. Oh, girlfriend, my heart is beating out of my chest. I don't like anything that jumps out. It makes my my fight or flight go into, I'm like sweating. Ugh. Okay, Janine. Boundaries. It is important for you to set clear boundaries in your life. While you do not need to keep others at a distance, walls, you need to prioritize your time and energy to who and what matters most. It is possible to be strong and loving simultaneously. You guys, because I like just got thrown into fight or flight, my flow is not here. So I'm gonna keep pulling cards for you guys because I love you, but I just might not have any insight to bring you because I'm like, you know, trying to bring my heart rate down. Chandy, breath of life. Okay, your higher self's message. Wisdom. This is a time of great learning and growth. Honor your intuitive wisdom and know that you hold all the answers within you. If you need guidance, ask your intuition to guide you to the divine resources. Guys, if somebody doesn't feel like a divine resource for you, if the wisdom that they're providing isn't for you, that is a sign that it's not for you. Don't try to make things fit because you think that that's what's supposed to happen. It's now raining. Are you guys sending me healing? Because I'm like freaking out over here. All right, Snow, you are next. Guys, I'm not doing individual questions. These are just general messages, and you have to post your name. If you don't post your name, I'm not pulling. Present. So this is for Snow. I just got a notification about a song. I just got done playing Belle and Beauty and the Beast, and there's a song between Belle and her dad Maurice called No Matter What, and so it just said, come check out this collaboration of No Matter What. And no matter what, I'm sure many of us have heard along our lives that somebody loves you no matter what. Snow. Present. There is nothing more important than to live in the present moment. Release fears of the unknown and instead embrace what is in your life right now. See beauty and celebrate love, for it is all around. Because I'm not doing breath of life now anymore either, because I don't want to send you my like heart palpitations. All right, let's see. Oh, Melanie can't see. I already got Helen, I already got Nicole. Bianca. Guys, I'm on a lag. I am not watching live. All right, so Bianca. Cycle. Notice how your life is being influenced by the natural cycles of your body and the universe. If you are stuck in a repetitive pattern, a new strategy is warranted for success. All right. Janine, I did post yours. What was it? Oh, it was a boundaries. You got the boundary card. Bianca, I got you. Evelyn. All of these people will be receiving Earthside Divine cards soon. I'm excited about that. So Evelyn, we got 2 for you. Boundaries. It is important for you to set clear boundaries in your life. While you do not need to keep others at a distance, you need to prioritize your time and energy to who and what matter most. It is possible to be strong and loving simultaneously. Guys, who and what matter most are you, yourself. That's not selfish. Attraction. Evelyn, this is your second. Everything you see now is a result of what you've thought before. There's a strong magnetic attraction taking place in your life, so be sure you are honoring your desires and new connections, for they will manifest your innermost thoughts and beliefs. Okay, Julia, and then Melanie. And then guys, I'm caught up. I'm gonna end it there. So Julia and Melanie are my last ones. So I can maybe possibly go stand out in the rain and flush that energy that just popped in. All right, Julia. Tranquility. You are thinking too much and working too hard. This time requires some much needed relaxation and quiet time. Instead of pushing your limits, take a step back and treat yourself to something special. And Melanie, oh, the sun just came out. Optimism. There are a lot of good reasons to feel optimistic at this time. Use a positive attitude and powerful affirmations to manifest your biggest wishes and desires. Guys, thank you so much for letting me come live today and share in this energy with you. Sorry, I got like the heebie-jeebies in the middle of it. I want to come live more. This is really important to me. So be sure to tune in. I don't know what the words are. I'm like, it's 9,000 degrees and sweating in here. So I love you, and I will see you guys very soon. All my love.